I think that worked out. Yep. So now we're recording. And since everyone's there, yes, I see the interpretation is available. L'interprétation, c'est dans le globe et vous voulez chercher français. So everybody can be hearing their language of choice. Thank you to Fantas, who's doing the translations today. I wonder if we could perhaps just start with a few, maybe a round robin, anyone who's here who wants to say out loud, maybe a concept that they got from the last presentation, like something that might have surprised them that they were really interested in trying out. Maybe that's an interesting way to go about it. And Samuel, you might have another idea, but maybe Samuel, you can say a few things about the presentation as well.
Yes, thanks so much, Amanda, and happy to meet everyone. And thanks to our members who have volunteered to make a presentation today. Yeah, so indeed, last class, we went through how to make a pitch, which will be very useful for the Land Accelerator, even as we try to link all of you with investors. One of the things that will be required from your end is actually ability to make a pitch, and we are willing to support you all through. What I got from the session is actually the pitch has to be practiced over. The pitch has to be practiced over and over again, and we will actually do this for the longest, just to ensure that we actually get things right. Towards the end of this program, for this year, we'll be having an investor or an impact day where we invite investors just to be able to listen to some of your pitches. So it's very critical that we get to do this and over and over practice. And after the presentation from the two volunteers, we'll get into groups, and then we'll give you assignment and also give you a team that is going to support you to make a nice and concrete pitch that you can be able to present. So I'm willing and hopefully looking forward to listen to the two that I've managed so far. Thank you. Back to you, Amanda.
Okay, so let me see. I guess maybe it's best if we just get straight to it, because I don't want to deal with any awkward silences of people not coming up with cool ideas that they learned last time. So I always keep trying to figure out how to make this more like a real conversation. So yeah, Lawrence, you've got a comment, go ahead.
Oh yes, it just hit me that there's need for us to create a software or a program where we will make it public, like for anyone who is into agroforestry, or just individuals who want to buy seedlings or plant trees. It is important that these trees they are planted in the specific area, and that the farmer knows the benefit, everything about the species, from where the soil type, the climatic condition that it favors most, the yield depending with the climate change, and all those things. I think that program will be helpful to farmers who will be doing agroforestry.
I think that sounds like a great idea. Something for someone to do, probably outside the scope of what we're doing at the Land Accelerator right now, but we will be working to bring together different resources as well. So if anybody knows resources like that, you can definitely send it our way. I might want to invite either Linda or Isela to share their presentations with us now. Would either of you be ready with your slides?
Amanda, I don't mind starting, but you can check with Azela. This is Linda.
This is Isela. Amanda, I wonder if you could help me share the slides because I'm using my phone at the moment.
Yes, yes.
My laptop is very faulty. It keeps disconnecting, so I'm using my phone for this. So if you
to pull them up, to figure out where I saved them. I did save them. Oh, yep, I've got it. So Isila, I'll pull up your slides right now and I'll start to share. Hold on, it's opening.
So I'm not very good at public speaking, but I'm going to give it a try. Also, I haven't had time to practice, and I didn't have any sort of pitch before. So we've had about maybe 20 hours to work on this as a team. So
right.
Yeah, and most of it is my story really as a founder. So I'm here to talk about the story of, I don't know, have I started?
Oh, well, yeah, you can start. Let's just give a little bit of a round of applause. Anyone who's there, clap your hands because this is really awesome that Isela is doing this. So just wanted to welcome her.
Oh, fine fusions.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I think you're going to see the same thing we saw, which, well, why don't we let Isela speak for herself, and then everybody who's here can give some really nice comments whenever you're done. So we should be, how long do you think your pitch is going to be, Isela, based on what you've done so far?
I've been practicing to keep it under 5 minutes, about 4 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now we're all set to hear Isela's 4-minute pitch. And if you just share with us right now, you guys worked on this ever since Tuesday.
So I'm here to speak about fine fusion concepts. This is a very new startup that was registered in November of last year, and we launched our first products in March of this year. This is our story. In March of 2020, I was working in community development, dealing with an organization that was about girls and menstrual health and hygiene. But we were locked down as a country in Uganda in mid-March. By April and May, there was a big crisis in food and for anyone to access food because there was total lockdown and movement was restricted. As an organization, the organization I was working for was sent into the rural areas to give food to the poorest of the poor. The saddest thing about this is that the rural areas we were sent to are food growers. The country's food basket is based there, which is in eastern Uganda, but they were hungry. At the moment, 250 million Africans go hungry. Yet, there is so much food produced. The challenge is that we rely on our seasons for our food production. In terms of beans alone, Uganda produces over 1 million tons of beans annually. Sadly, next slide, please. Sadly, 30 to 50% of that is lost in post-harvest waste. And while we throw away so much food, 20% of Africa still remains hungry. Fine Fusion was created to fill that gap. And we found that the answer is in value addition. We figured that if we could have products, our agricultural products, have a longer shelf life if we could improve the quality of the beans that we had, then we would have enough food. Sorry? Well, then we would have enough food to feed all of Africa. We would have enough food to go around to all of Uganda and probably some left over to export. That means that even the smallholder farmer would be able to ask higher prices for the produce because they're improved.
Isela, you've just muted yourself. Isela, unmute yourself. There you go.
To grow. We would be able to convert losses of post-harvest waste, and we would have various types of additional products to create with the value addition. While there are so many people who are growing beans, there's so many bean varieties. There's at least 40 bean varieties in Uganda. So we would not be put out of the market because there's quite a variety to choose from, and perhaps there would be lessons to learn from the different people in the market. As an idea for value addition, we found that the bean is a superfood. It feeds the people, it feeds the soil in terms of soil improvement and nitrogen fixing bacteria. It is also good for the environment because nothing on the bean is lost. All the chaff that gets off the bean, the pods and the vine itself can all go back to the soil for soil improvement. It can be used for mulching, and the bean itself can take carbon emissions out of the air. So it is responsible consumption. When we analyzed ourselves against the competition, we looked at the other kinds of beans on the market. The canned beans are not affordable. They're expensive, even though they have a higher shelf life. We have the green French beans, which they are relatively expensive, yet they have a low shelf life. When beans are harvested fresh, they can be consumed as food, but they have a low shelf life and they tend to be more expensive than the dry beans. Fine Fusion cleans the beans and sorts them and packages them in a way that will increase their shelf life and yet keep them affordable. There is very little difference between the well-packed bean and the milled bean from which we make porridge. So we maintain an edge on the competition because our products have a high shelf life and they're quite affordable. In terms of traction, when we came up with the concept, we decided to launch it on the market as soon as March 2021. To date, we've sold 323 units. Our product can be found in 3 supermarkets in our city, and we have realized revenue in sales worth $554 approximately. And that's just in about 3 months. Our growth strategy is to increase our production capacity by using mechanized cleaning and sorting, which is now done manually, by having a built for purpose harvest warehouse so that we can have improved storage, not just for our produce, but for our smallholder farmers that we work with as well, because we buy the beans from them and offer them a route to market. We do realize that our branding can also be improved and our packaging as well. So
You have muted yourself again, and we are at 7.5 minutes, so do watch the timing.
So what we're asking for is money for capital expenses, which are the warehouse and machinery. We're asking money for branding and marketing, and we intend to have a little money laid over to cover incidental costs like meeting the costs of larger orders, which has prevented us from taking on new clients at the moment, as well as things like extra hands for the cleaning and sorting and whatever we may need to do. We would like to have some flexibility around that. We project that we shall be able to have revenues of up to £2,000 in the first year, and more than double that in the second year, because we will have built traction with our smallholder farmers. And also, we are very conscious that our solution is replicable and it is scalable, but there's enough room for everyone to win. By year 5, we anticipate that our revenues will be to a tune of 100,000, because we will have increased our revenue streams with a demonstration farm, and also we shall be delivering trainings for circular farming methods at a cost. All of this is thanks to a team of partners that we have been working with. We have sought guidance and consultation from the Innovation Village in Ginger. We have approached the National Agricultural Research Organization to advise us on the best condition for the beans and how we can keep that into higher yields, even on a small scale. And of course, for the circular farming, the circular economy farming methods, we have approached Broadfield Enterprise Uganda, which specializes and is the only certified organization in Uganda for permaculture, so that we can focus on regenerative farming methods that minimize waste. Our main purpose is to have food for all generations. My name is Isela Balo. I am the founder of Fine Fusion Concepts, and I'm glad to be here today.
Thank you so much, Isela. I wonder if anyone here wants to share any observations that they had. Perhaps I could start with Samuel, but then other people are welcome to raise their hand.
Yes, thank you so much, Isela, even for that bold step to actually come on board and share your presentation. I'm sure it's through such that you'll be able to learn and be even perfect in actually pitching. I did like the aspect of using of pictures to communicate. Looney did mention that we don't really need to have a lot of wordings in our pitch. We can actually use images to communicate, which you did very well. The other one is the fact that you do understand your product very well, and even to some extent actually showing that physical product. I remember him saying, if you have a service, then you actually need to do a screenshot. The other aspect that I've liked about your pitching is the fact that you recognize other partners that you're working with, which again brings in the aspect of credibility. So there is quite a lot within the short time that you have done very well. Maybe the question that we need to ask ourselves, all of us, is from your presentation. One is, I remember Looney saying that you don't start introducing yourself. That one will come later once you convince them to create that interest. The other one is that when you're starting, you need to start with high note, maybe a phrase, like what the bean can be able to do to eradicate malnutrition in Uganda, for example. Your start is very critical because it tends to pull people together. The other one is the
Okay.
aspect of did people really understand the opportunity that is there? What is the path to revenue for your business? The other one is the business model. Was it clear? Does this company has a reasonable future? And then the ask, was the ask reasonable? Was it adequate enough for me as an investor to invest? Yeah, but I'm sure with the practice, even as we are learning, so with the practice, we'll be able to learn quite a lot. Yeah, thanks, Amanda. Those are my few comments.
The big comment that I have that everybody should do and pay attention to is I asked her how long the pitch was going to be. She said 4 minutes. It took 10. That's cutting off other people's opportunities to practice right now. So we do want you, when you pitch, get your cell phones out, set it down, take a look at it, because when you get going, the adrenaline is rushing and the time goes much faster than you think. And so when you start to notice that, you can start to say to yourself, okay, I need to move faster. I need to not talk about this thing for 20 minutes. So something that Looney also mentioned was not to talk about the problem for a very long time, because we get it. So as you're making your script, you can really focus on saying, what are the key things I need to say, and say it quickly. It's very compelling. But if we're talking about businesses, we want to know the problem, but then get to what you're doing with the solution. But the biggest takeaway I want to say is that this is a beautiful presentation, very easy to follow. And this is something that Isela and her team put together using a lot of the concepts that Looney shared with us. So everybody has access now to the slides and the recording to go back over it. And I think everybody can do something like this for their business, and you can record yourself on Zoom. You know, if you go on Zoom, you can record yourself giving your own presentation and save it and send it to somebody. So for instance, one of our participants who's joining us today, I want to see Catherine Milling. She has a video link of a presentation she's done. So maybe Catherine, maybe we will like to, if you could share that in the chat box, people can check that out later. So we are about halfway through with our presentations, and we were hoping that we could have a breakout session where people would talk about their slides or form a small deck or something like that. Samuel, did you want to introduce the concept of the breakout rooms today?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, just to help us familiarize ourselves even more with this making a perfect pitch. Would wish that we take the next maybe 20 minutes to get into group discussions where you get to select the lead who is going to coordinate that group. And then also select somebody who is going to make a pitch on your behalf. As we have said, we'll do this over and over again. So we may want to use another office hour to listen to your pitches, or we can use the networking session as well to listen to your pitches. So select somebody who is going to make a pitch on your behalf. The other one is you may want to decide to use your own companies to practice, or you can imagine a company within the restoration space. Identify its business model, where it's actually located, what is the growth projection for that company, the investment need, or what is the ask, and then make a pitch. Those that I've actually identified, the items that I've actually identified, these are components of a pitch, as Looney did actually share, which is actually in the presentation, and we have shared that PowerPoint presentation on Mighty Network. So we want to give you, we will actually now get to the breakout rooms. I'll share this presentation with you on the chat so as you can be able to refer. So we may want, Amanda, you can guide us on the time. and then maybe we can come back and be able to listen to one pitch, and then have a critique it, and then we can proceed. I don't know whether that's clear.
Yes, so as far as timing, we have 30 minutes left, so we could be in there for 20 minutes. But of course, we want to make sure that this is clear. And I want to let you know, Samuel, I'm also unable to make breakout rooms, so you can do it. So think about how you want to do that. Let me
So
see.
sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I mean, if you want me to do it, you have to somehow make me the host. I can't make myself the host.
I just did it. Sorry about that.
Or you can just do it yourself. Okay, so I'm doing it. Anybody have any questions? Open to questions, what we're doing. Again, I'm just going to share this because some people are visual, some people are not visual. We want to focus on creating a pitch for one of the businesses in your group. You're going to be in a group of about 4 people. We're going to take 20 minutes to just say what would slides look like. If you're on your computer, or someone in your group is on your computer, they can share the screen while they actually make a presentation. Like I'm doing now, I'm sharing my screen while I make a presentation. Make a few slides. And you don't have to do anything fancy. It can be on white paper, you know, black writing, but just what does this look like for you? What does it look like? So you can select one business in your group that you all decide to make a slide deck around. Or you can create an imaginary business to make a deck. But basically, we'll then look for a few people to present when we come back in. So if there's any questions on that, want to open that up now, I'll count down from 5. And if you have questions, just unmute yourself and ask. If you don't have questions, then we will be going to breakout rooms quite soon. Let me see how many people we have here. Yep, 50. So I'm going to make 10 breakout rooms. And I don't know how to assign them manually. I'll let participants choose the room. I don't know how to do it. Let participants choose the room. I don't know. I'm going to make 2 French rooms and the rest of them are going to be English. And everybody just choose a random room, okay? And I didn't hear anybody asking me questions. So I'm going to open up the breakout rooms and we're going to go in and everybody's going to first select a volunteer to focus their pitch around. And I believe, Samuel, you said you put in the chat room box, you put in the chat box a link to the presentation. Is that right?
Yes.
Linda, you might. Oh, I just saw a question from Linda. She said, will she still present the pitch? We're going to have to do that at a future time. As Samuel said, we'll be doing a lot more of this. Perhaps we can do a pitch, you know, every time we meet for our networking sessions before our Tuesday sessions. And we can also see about integrating some more pitching into the upcoming office hours as well. So we're really sorry, but that is what happens when people are going over. So we want to ask everybody to really do the trick that I told you, which is take a second at the beginning and turn on your timer. And I should have thought of saying that beforehand. So I'm really sorry I did not. So yeah, I'm going to open the rooms. Did you say that you put oh, great, Samuel, you put the instructions in the chat box. So people should be able to see that. But anything else that you were going to put in the chat box? No, right? Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, I think that will serve. And maybe a reminder, as we said, the group members that you're going to be with, they will be your support system. So you may want to create an opportunity, even outside our sessions, to just meet and just go through your business plan. Remember, for the 5,000 grant launch fund, we may want to see your pitch deck as well. So it needs to be as good as possible. Yeah, thank you.
That's a really good point. So people can use this group that they get into as a support system to work on slides. You can share slides anytime during the week with one another, and you can review each other's slides. So without further ado, we're going to open all the rooms, You have to select which room you want to get into, and we'll go from there. There they go, open. And I will also start assigning people as well. But if you want, go ahead and join any room. I think that you see the options. Samuel, do you see the options available? What do the options look like? I see Linda joined a room. So you have to click on join, people. You got to do it. I'm assigning the few French people I see to the French room. People, you can join the rooms. I think that that's not, yep, we've got room 3 was filling up. That's great. I'm going to start assigning people to random rooms, and hopefully that will help even things out, because sometimes it seems like it's a little difficult to get people to join the rooms. So I'm just assigning people to rooms right now. All right, so I assigned people to rooms, Samuel. If you're still here, you can press join. Anyone who's still in this main room can press join.
Yes, I see a number of people. They're in the breakout rooms, but they have not clicked join. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, looks like most people are getting in now, so that's really great. Most people are getting in. And some people are getting disconnected and they're rejoining us, but that looks great. So we can bring people back in like, it says 12 minutes from now. So Samuel, do you want to try and jump into different rooms and see how people are doing, and I'll jump into a different room?
Absolutely. Is it possible to make me a co-host so as I can jump from one to the other?
Oh, you're not able. Let me see. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep.
Thank
Perfect.
you. Yeah.
And do you want to go in the odd number rooms and I'll go in the even number rooms?
Yeah, sure. I think that's okay.
Okay, I'll go in the even number rooms. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Have you seen it? Tó bá lóun wo àbí sábẹ́ bọ̀dé kéèyàn ti rí.
If anybody's in this room, you should have the option to join to a room because I've assigned everybody. So if you look at it, you can select your room that you want. You look at the breakout room sections and you can join literally whatever room you want. So if you're still here, you can join a room by hitting join.
Hello?
Hello, who is here? Linnell,
Janelle.
you are supposed to be at the breakout room.
Yes, I don't know how to do it. I'm just lost today.
Can you see where it's written more?
Let me check. Yes.
Just click there. Can you see breakout room? Join breakout room.
No, it is not here. A breakout room.
Sorry? It should be there. One of the three dots. Yeah?
Okay.
Are you using a laptop or your phone?
It's a smartphone.
Yeah, just click on the three dots. There is where it's written breakout, join breakouts. And then you can be able to join whichever you want. Or just give me a minute. Let me see whether. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not able to put you in a breakout room. So what you do, you click on the three dots. There is where it's written breakout rooms. It's like a box, a square. If you click on that, it should be able to give you options, and then you choose join. You click join. Are you able?
Okay. But it's already time up. No, I'm not. It's already time up. You said you were.
Yeah, now I'm not sure how I can help. Amanda, are you able to help Linnell? She needs to join a breakout room, but she's not able.
Yeah, look for the option. Are you on your phone, Linnell?
Yes, I am.
That's probably why it's difficult. Look for three dots or three lines or something. There's going to be an option somewhere that says breakout rooms, and you're going to be able to hit the word join. You just got to look for it. If you can't find it, I don't know what to say. I can try and change you to a different room and see if that gives you a pop-up. So I changed you to a different room. Did you get another pop-up per chance? Nope. Samuel, I'm just closing the breakout rooms now, so we'll have 5 minutes because it's going to take about a minute for everybody to come back in here. Hello, Falk, how are you doing?
I'm fine. We had 2 pitches.
Wow.
Actually, we could have done 3, actually.
I'm so glad that your room was really, enthusiastic about it. It can be very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, if you didn't do it before, if you haven't been to an accelerator before, then it's really terrible to hold a pitch because you don't know what to say, right?
You go all over the place,
Terrible.
exactly.
Yeah.
It looked like most people really had a lot of the breakout room sessions, though. Only a few people were having trouble getting in, so that's not so bad. Samuel, should we invite one other person to share us their pitch and send us off?
Yes, absolutely.
Father.
Maybe you can get a volunteer.
Yeah, anybody who wants to volunteer, you can raise your hand or just speak now. If it's, yeah. Maybe we could offer to Linda, who had her presentation prepared.
Can volunteer.
Okay, we can, okay. Well, hey, we've got a slide up. So the answer goes to those who are ready and prepared. So let me see, who's sharing the screen again?
Jackson.
Jackson, okay, Jackson. First, before you go, in your breakout session, did you get any feedback or what did you guys chat about in your breakout session? Maybe 1 or 2 notable points. Jackson?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, what did you guys talk about in your breakout room session? 1 or 2 notable points you could share. Any feedback that was shared in your group or anything?
Yeah, in our group we had two presentations, and they shared about their business models, and the moderator was asking a few questions regarding how they're going to make money, and we noted how they're going to make money, the acreage of the land that is covered, and the business model. So we were able to understand the business model, how they're going to make money, and what is involved in their business.
Okay, let's see what we can see from your presentation then.
Okay.
How long?
Mine is not.
Before, how long will your presentation be, approximately?
I didn't structure it for 3 minutes, but I can share a few. Others can be shared later. I'm still revising it.
So if you get your phone out and maybe set yourself for 3 minutes and see what you can do.
Okay.
Just take your time, pull up your clock, and then you tell us when you're ready. And don't forget to look down every once in a while. Look down at it every once in a while.
I'm ready.
Okay, everybody, we're ready. Go for it.
Okay. Eco Honey Hub is a demonstration farm that is going to be created to integrate. That is being created to integrate tree planting with the agroforestry and beekeeping. The farmers' pains we are trying to solve is deforestation, which is leading to loss of yields, loss of bees, loss of animals, and therefore we are trying to make integrated approaches to solve that problem. In Uganda we lose $218,000 as a cost of degradation, and this is a big cost to Uganda's economy. No trees, no bees, no food, no money, no life. And you can see we have, bees are very, very important for pollination services, and they contribute to coffee production in Uganda, which is our biggest export earner. And of course, honey in Uganda is completely very low, and yet it can be produced by many farmers. And again, honey products like venom are being used to to treat cancer and COVID and other items. So we are looking at solving that problem. Our value proposition is to empower and equip farming communities, improve their returns on farming by demonstrating and incubating integrated landscape restoration with agroforestry and picking. So these are our products: honey, bees, then training services and consultant services. Our approaches, we have one of them is the circular economy, which involves intercropping and integrated system. Then we have another item where we showcase how the system in agriculture and environment can contribute to survival of the other. And there are our farmers groups, farmers association, to understand these approaches such that we can be able to adapt to climate change. So this is also sustainable intensification and integrated system thinking, whereby bees can contribute to coffee production, and again, integrating grazing with the trees can also contribute to the survival of bees. Our market potential, Uganda urban and rural population is increasing, and the urban population is going to outpace the rural population by 2060, which means there will be too much demand for food. So we target around 1,500 farmers associations, because 68 farmers in Uganda are engaged in agriculture. So if we get that number, we'll be able to sell our point home. So this is our revenue projections, but in Uganda shillings, we shall change them into dollars. Our social impact: job creation, household income, food security, support gender mainstreaming and social cohesion, environmental, fertile soils, water retention, biomass, and others. So we are supporting, our contribution is to contribute to goal 1, no poverty, goal 2, 0 hunger, goal 13, climate action, goal 14, life underwater, and goal 15, life on water. These are our proposed partners whom we're working with, especially in generation of knowledge, common land for 4 returns from landscape restoration, ecosystem restoration, global eco village network, eco green, the land accelerator that is providing us a lot of skills. Then we have the government of Uganda and Eco Trust. We are seeking for $15,000, and the money is going to be used in financing critical project inputs, and again supporting project design and capacity building, as well as equipment for the organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jackson. If everybody wants to give a round of applause, that was
Yay!
great. Yeah, and I might just want to share that one thing I can learn from him is there was a lot of things. There was some things I really liked that had a lot of the components. One thing that we need to add, though, is a little bit on traction. So everybody, don't forget to be proud of what you've done already. So I didn't see anything about traction in this slide, but you know, I know you've done something, but you need to lay it out there. And so everybody can make a slide right now that even just says traction, and then put a few bullet points on it. You know, you can make it look nice later, but I want to emphasize that point to everybody. No matter what, you have some traction, you just have to define it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. We shall improve on that.
That being said, next week, a little preview for next week is we're going to be going over different ways to report on the environmental and social benefits of your company. So when you join us on Tuesday, we're going to have a chance to actually create your key performance indicator plan, where you can take a moment, like during the presentation, we're going to actually create a plan. You're going to identify the key performance indicators that are relevant for your business. Some of them you might know, some of them might be new to you, and you'll say, no, that's a really good idea. And then we're also going to come up with a plan on what channels you would like to use in order to promote that new story or the new proof behind the story that you've identified you want to report on. So this can be anything from updating your website or your packaging or messaging that you want to put on social media or a brochure that you want to make. So we're going to take some time to think about that and therefore identify that strategy going forward, because I think something that makes your companies different than just an average company is that you're doing something different, you're doing something new. And that also needs to come out in your presentations and in your stuff. So that's what we're doing next Tuesday is KPIs. And at this point, I think we can officially close, but I would want to, before we officially close, I'd want to give Teiko and Samuel a chance for closing remarks. And then after they close, if anybody wants to stay on for any further question and answers, we can stay on for about 5 more minutes. Samuel or Teiko?
Yes, maybe I can go first and then Teko can somehow officially close for us. So thanks so much. As earlier said, I'm very passionate about this topic, and because it tends to open up opportunities for us, the entrepreneurs. So my encouragement is to all the entrepreneurs to take this one very seriously. And good to mention that the PowerPoint presentation that were actually made on the Mighty Network, you can listen to it over and over again just to ensure that you actually make it perfect, because we want to see as many of you make pitch that we can put even on our website, on different social media, and even for you to get a chance to present during the Impact Day later during the end of this program. So feel free to visit over and over again. The other one is just make sure that you have a buddy, a friend whom you can work with. It's unfortunate we are doing this online. I know if it was physical, then we could actually get to interact as much as possible. But we have used the Mighty Network just to be able to give you a chance to be able to create that atmosphere where you can be able to have a buddy and work with. So thank you, and I'll see you on Tuesday, God willing. Teko?
Thank you very much, Samuel. And I would love to reiterate what Samuel has said about the buddy system. Try to check how many people are from your country. That way maybe you may find out that you are within the same city or close by, whereby you guys can meet and prepare your pitch and be able to present something that is nothing short of fireworks. Please remember, organizations such as us and WRI, we go out there to look for the money to fund you. So we really want to also blow our donors when we are looking for these months. We want to have the examples and testimonials that are really moving and that really present a good businesses and a good that depict a very positive story for the restoration in the continent. So with that, thank you. We are still working hard on everything that we promised and to support you, including the literature material. So thank you till on Tuesday.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. So concluded. And everybody can leave, but if there's any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you guys so much. I'll just be sticking on for a few more minutes.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you,
Really,
Amanda.
thanks to everybody who pitched today, and we will be hearing from more of you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Kaibiro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. I wonder if we have time for a
everyone.
question.
Thank you, Amanda.
Oh, yeah. Yes, who's asking the question?
I wondered if when we talk about the growth strategy slide, that one really challenged us because we were not really clear on what we needed to present. Should a growth strategy be short or long term? Is it about revenue streams, or should it be directly related to the ask in that pitch?
So I was really happy when we got to your slide about growth strategy because, I think I liked what you guys had. Let me see if I can, if for anybody who feels like staying on, let me see if I can pull up her slide really fast. I hope I still have it open. Hold on. Do I still have it open? No, it looks like I closed it, but I'm gonna have it open right now. I'm opening it right now and I'm gonna share it. And as soon as it opens up, which it takes, of course, a long time. Food, okay.
Une question par rapport aux présentations de ce soir.
Okay, there it is. Sure. Okay, so everybody can see it now.
Une question, s'il vous plaît.
Here is your growth strategy. This is making sense. You want to be able to produce more faster. You want to have, this is about the assets you want to build in order to grow. Something else that might be interesting is to hear how things are going so far. So for instance, and maybe you can put that into the slide somehow. For instance, you're at 3 supermarkets. You've just launched. You're at a very exciting stage. Let me try and mute everybody else so I don't know what's going on. Isela, that was your phone, so I muted you. It was like the wind was very loud. So you're a very exciting part of your company where you really are starting to have your first traction. And so I think, another thing you might say is, how are you going to get to more supermarkets? Like, are you going to get to more supermarkets, or are you going to try and make those supermarkets sell more of your stuff? And the other thing about growth strategy is it's always about what are your obstacles to growth. So when I look at your growth strategy here, you're addressing your obstacles to growth. So what I see as your obstacle to growth, what you're telling me is capacity to produce quickly. I don't know if that's true, because maybe you also have other obstacles to growth that you're not addressing in the slides yet. Maybe you can't find enough people to sell your stuff or to buy your stuff. Or maybe you can't find enough farmers to grow the beans. So maybe it only is that you need to do things faster because you have plenty of bean providers and you have plenty of bean buyers. So you really just need to process it faster and get it out the door. So growth strategy really gets to, like, what are your obstacles to growth and how are you addressing them? And so I think that you definitely addressed some obstacles to growth, but you might have other ones that are not yet brought up here. But I really, really liked it. And I had just to share another question I had for you after reading your presentation was, I was looking, obviously now you're growing beans. My question for you is, what is different for the farmers or for the market now that you're in place? So what are the farmers feeling different now that they're working and supplying their beans to you? Oh, Isela, you're muted. I'm sorry. Let me unmute you. Asked you to unmute.
Sorry, the farmers are realizing that they can now get better prices for their produce because they can clean their grain. They must make the product convenient for the consumer. And when they do that, then the consumer is willing to pay better. Right now, most bins in the market are dirty. They have chaff, they have stones, they have dust. They're unpleasant. Sometimes some of them, through their storage facilities, they acquire an odor that's unnatural. But right now, we can buy, the cleaner the grain, the better pay that we can give out to the farmers. And then they will be, but then they have to keep up the standards if they're supplying us. But then it's opening their eyes to move away from the fact, the mindset of we're being exploited to, oh, I can do better and I will be paid better for my effort.
That's
I don't know
really
if that answers it.
interesting. Yes, so I think that that is something that you want to also put in there, and you don't have to worry about, do I have too many slides? Because when you start to practice, you can work on how quickly, not quickly, but how few words you use. So you could put a slide in there about how much more I'm going to mute you again. A lot of background noise. How much more the farmers are able to access because of participating with you. So that's like social benefits. And the other thing I'd want to know more about is some kind of a study, even if it's just you guys somehow doing it. But if you can find a university to do it for you, how much longer do these beautifully vacuum packed beans last than the ones that you just buy at the marketplace, so that you can really differentiate yourself? Because I think people understand that it's cleaner, they can see that, but then, you know, you could say, you know, we've tested this and here's how we know that our beans can last longer, and here's how much longer they last. Because that's that's one of your unique value propositions, which is why your product is better than anything out there. You're saying my product is better because we took the time to clean it and we put it in these bags, which means that it's going to last much longer. And so you want to be able to talk about that in a little bit more specific way. So these are interesting concepts for everybody else who's still listening. I see a few people, the idea of what makes you different. And in the context of the Land Accelerator, how this helps with Land Accelerator, of course, is that post-harvest food loss is very, very high, as you've pointed out in your presentation. And the less post-harvest food loss we have, the more intensified the farm is, the more sustainable a rural livelihood is, and people don't have to expand their farmland or look for farmland elsewhere. So that's how we see it contributing to land. But are there any other practices that your bean farmers are actually using at this point? Are they using organic or other kinds of techniques? Gisela,
most of our bean farmers are just doing the crop rotation along with they were just now burning up the bean vines, but we have taught them to use it for the mulching, because there are some 2 months that are quite dry, and we don't want the land to dry up. Some of the land has started to cake at the top. I don't know how else to describe it. And then some other land, like the plot where the demonstration farm is, used to be a stone quarry. So after quarrying, there's gaping holes in it, there's debris and rock and all of that. So we kind of let it go fallow, but we also plant legumes like caliandra and all of that. And we teach them to use the caliandra. Actually, this was an input from the National Agriculture Research Organization. They said we need to plant a lot of caliandra everywhere, and then just keep cutting it and using it to cover the ground. And there's something that conditions the soil there. Then it has the huge root nodules the size of a kidney bean hanging in there, fixing in nitrogen. Then they also tell us it's very good for terracing. So sometimes when a place has been a stone quarry, it creates a slope, a steeper slope than there was before the rock was removed. So you need to terrace, but you also need to put some buffer crops, and the caliandra works well. So like you have 3 rows of beans and then a row of caliandra bush and that sort of thing. Or
I think this is amazing stories, and that's why I just wanted to chat with you, because everybody can hear the stories and they can see themselves in this. So what I'm hearing and learning from you is that your company is actually helping farmers revive like this stone quarry land, which nothing was growing on. And so it's an amazing story. So even in your pitch somewhere, you can take a picture of maybe what the stone quarry looked like before. Maybe you have a picture of what the stone quarry looked like, or you have a picture of some of the land that is not restored yet. But you know, you can say, look, this is what we're working with. We're working with rocky land with all these holes and valleys, and we're bringing solutions. And here's what we're bringing, and here's our final product. And it's really inspiring story. It doesn't have to take that long, but just get along the idea of a few photos of the land would help. And then another traction, what we call key performance indicator, you can also mention perhaps on your slide, on your traction slide, is you can say how many farmers you're engaging with. Yeah, so I would suggest adding some pictures from the actual land, because that's a really important part of your story. So that's really my main points for you right now, is just that you are understanding what your growth obstacles to growth are. And if you've covered them here in the growth strategy, that's okay. But if you have to add a few more boxes to talk about one or the other things, like how you're going to get more farmers involved, or how you're going to get more beans, or how you're going to get more buyers, you can put that in the growth strategy. But a lot of this is quite lovely. So these are just little additions that, because your presentation was so good, we were able to get to that and ask that particular question, you know.
I had a question about projections, because I felt, or rather we all felt, that our growth projections needed a little bit more explanation, but we didn't know where to put the explanation, because there's an aspect of alternative revenue streams, and where to place that was the challenge. For example,
sure.
we have alternative streams in terms of training for the farmers, and also using the demonstration farm for research, as well as agritourism. So that would explain what we think is a leap on something that's actually a challenge. So we do get some resistance from the farmers. They don't want to be bothered changing the way they do things.
So I, you know, have this, I'm sharing a different screen now, how you can show different revenue streams from different products. So this is really easy. You can still keep it really simple, but charts work really well. So this one I'm showing here, it's, you know, you see strategy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this actual graph. Are you able to see it?
It's very tiny. I don't know if you could zoom in a little bit.
I don't really know how to zoom in, because it gets smaller. It gets smaller, so I don't.
I'll do a screenshot and zoom it in later.
Open image in new tab, maybe. I tried to open the image in a new tab, and I don't really know that worked.
It's okay. I've taken a screenshot. I'll zoom it in.
No, but the
later.
idea basically is, gosh, I'm trying. It's not really. Yeah, no, I can't really show it. But the idea is, I'm really sorry if it's small now. I've completely lost it. I have too many tabs open, and that's why I can't find things once I lose them. It's completely gone. The idea is, if you have different revenue streams, you can show it on the same bar graph. And so you might not, gosh, I really want to get to it so I can look at it. Wow, I have too many tabs open.
Cool.
Sorry about that. Like, here it is. It's pretty big. Can you see it? It's pretty big now. Yeah? No? It's kind of big?
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Lovely.
instead of having strategy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you would have year. So we would have like year 2000, 2020, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24 as by the years. And then you could have, instead of product A, B, C, or D, you could have like beans and tourism and whatever else that you're selling. And so then you can show how it's expected to grow each year. And if you still wanted to focus on your total revenue, you could, underneath this chart, just have like a big total number, like 2,000, 5,000, 7,000, whatever it is. But people could see the mix of the different revenue streams. And I wanted to show this just in case anyone else was still watching, because this is a useful kind of way to show your projections if you have different revenue streams.
Thank you. That was
It's pretty
helpful.
easy. Yeah, it's pretty easy. You can make it in Excel very easily when you go to Excel. You can see about how to make a chart, a table, and just put it in. It's like called a stacked bar table. So I'll stop sharing now. Yeah, I didn't have any other kinds of questions for you or topics for you. So that was all. I see there's still a few people here. So if anybody wants to share any comments or questions, feel free to unmute yourself. Okay, well, thanks everybody. And I think that I'll be getting offline now. I really appreciate
Thanks,
your time.
Amanda.
Yes, and Isela, so nice to have you go today. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Amanda.
Bye.
Bye.